while they are setting out to infect people, they're blaming the LGBT community. Does it get any lower than this? So the next article I wanted to take a look at is entitled Right-Wing Pastor Blames Coronavirus on LGBT Sin because someone had to, we guess. This is on pinknews.co.uk. And this isn't actually the full article that I wanted to look at. This is just a callback to a previous podcast episode where I talked about this. And it was a little too racy for YouTube, I guess, because they demonetized it. But I'm talking about it again because I feel like it's important. So this guy is Pastor Stephen Andrew. And he blamed the coronavirus on the gay lifestyle choice. Gotta fucking love these people. Let's read the article and see what it says. It was written by Emma Powis Maurice on March 8th. So this is at the beginning of the virus. It says, it was only a matter of time before someone blamed the coronavirus outbreak on the gays, and it seems the urge was just too strong for one U.S. preacher. Remember, this article was from co.uk, so it's the United Kingdom. In the past, LGBT plus people have somehow been blamed for floods, hurricanes, earthquakes, bushfires. Rachel Dolezal? Never heard of that. Even the fall of Rome. Now, thanks to Pastor Stephen Andrew, we can add the Wuhan coronavirus to the bizarre list. Again, this is in March, so this is probably before they even named it, maybe. I don't know that they named COVID until, or I don't know if the name caught on this early. I don't remember. Anyway, let's keep reading. Andrew, who's a pastor of the California-based USA Christian Church, has declared March to be Repent of LGBT Sin Month, a move he genuinely believes will save lives and the nation and protect from coronavirus. Interesting. I think Gay Pride Month is June, or LGBT Pride Month. I'm not sure what it's called now, but weird that he picked March. You'd think he would pick May or even June, like a little bit closer to Gay Pride Month, but whatever. Let's keep reading. So far, at least 3,600 people have died from the global coronavirus. Wow, March 8th, man. 3,600 people. Global. What are we at now? 1.5 million? Instead of advising his followers on the actual ways to control the virus, Andrews tells them they'll be fine if they just obey God. He didn't even have the strongest effect. There were some pastors out there, like Tony Spell, John MacArthur, who run megachurches, who set out to infect as many people as they could. They were asked by the governor to buy a thermometer, like a little, a no-touch thermometer, and assign one of their ministerial servants or whatever the fuck, deacons or whatever the fuck they call them in their church, assign one of them to stand in the parking lot and just scan the heads of the people who walk into the church, make sure they don't have fevers. They couldn't even do that. They couldn't even do something that fucking simple. They set out to fucking infect people. And they blame the gays. They blame the gays for this shit. While they are setting out to infect people, they're blaming the LGBT community. Does it get any lower than this? Seriously. God's love shows it is urgent to repent because the Bible teaches homosexuals lose their soul and God destroys LGBT societies, Andrew said in a press release this week. Obeying God protects the USA from diseases such as the coronavirus. Yes, really. Our safety is at stake, he claimed, since national disobedience of God's laws brings danger and diseases such as coronavirus, but obeying God brings a covenant protection. I love it. So, did he change his mind on this when Trump got sick? Did he change his mind on this when any of the mega church pastors that got sick actually got the virus? Of course he didn't. Of course he fucking didn't. Quote, God protects the USA from danger as the country repents of LGBT, false gods, abortion, and other sins. Andrew calls himself leader of the American Christian denomination, which is made up of Christians of all denominations who believe like our founding fathers, according to his website. Oh, I love it. As if the founding fathers were religious. Have you ever heard of the Jefferson Bible? He cut out all of the magical stuff from the Bible. That's what the Jefferson Bible was. The Bible minus the magical shit. I don't know how long it was. I have to imagine it was 25 pages. I can't imagine it was longer than that. He claims to be establishing 25 ministries around the nation, and he holds monthly revival events. Several other Christian extremists have also found a way to link the spread of the coronavirus with LGBT plus people. They include the evangelical radio host Rick Wiles, which, by the way, I'm sure if you follow my channel, you know I talked about him just the other day, who jumped on the tragedy in the early days of the outbreak to claim that it was all part of God's plan to purge the world of trans children and the vile, disgusting people who support them. I don't know how I didn't hear about that, but I'm going to cover that now that I know about it. These people are fucking monstrous and looking for people to blame other than themselves. That is who is to blame ultimately. These fucking monsters who hold church services during a pandemic and set out to infect as many people as they can in the name of some fucking culture war. That's who is to blame. And who's suffering? Us. We're suffering because of their stupid bullshit. One quick note I wanted to make before switching to the other article about this. If you're listening to the podcast, I'll explain what's happening. I'm highlighting the page right now, and as I move up the page, the highlighting colors change. So it's not one solid color. I'm sure you guys have been to websites where you highlight stuff and it's all just straight orange, or it's all just straight black, right? Or blue. I'm highlighting down, and it goes from orange to yellow to blue to pink to a reddish color, to orange, to green, to blue. That is a nice touch, Pink News. I like that a lot. That's fucking awesome. I love that. Jesus, these people who work at Pink News know about aesthetics and user interfaces and style and design. That's fucking awesome. So, needless to say, there is another article. This guy didn't drop off the face of the earth in March. He continued to make an ass of himself. Big surprise. The next article I wanted to look at is entitled, Pastor Who Blamed COVID on Gay People Now Says Biden Supporters Are Cursed. This is by Hemant Mehta on the Friendly Atheist website. So let's give it a read and see what it says. Back in early March, Pastor Stephen Andrew of the USA Christian Church, which sounds big but is really just him, claimed that COVID was God's punishment for homosexuality. And if gay people would just stop being so gay, COVID would go away. COVID hasn't gone away. If you're looking for someone to blame, you'd be better off looking at Christians who defy mask mandates and gather in their indoor churches in close proximity with each other than gay people who have followed quarantine rules. That means Andrew needs a new grift, so he's claiming that supporters of Joe Biden are cursed. Let's give the clip a watch and see what he says.
We need to stand up for President Trump. We know that God's will is President Trump. Look, President Trump is pro-life. He loves America. He boldly says, "In God we trust," and plays "God bless the USA."
Before we go further, just notice his cadence. Notice the tone of his voice and the way he's speaking. Jehovah's Witnesses do the exact same thing. And there are reasons why I think Jehovah's Witnesses do it that way. For example, they're trying to put people into a certain type of meditative state. They're subliminally trying to relax them and get them in a certain mood and things like that. I don't know if this guy is trying to do the exact same thing, but it's really, really strange to listen to him talk. I mean, let's just step back a few seconds and listen again.
In God we trust, and plays "God bless the USA." And he helps the economy recover. He's wise.
He helps the economy recover? This was put out recently. This is like right at the ass end of Trump's presidency. No, he doesn't. He inherited a decent economy from Obama, and then he drove it straight into the side of a cliff. You know, the pandemic wasn't Trump's fault exactly. I can be super fucking generous here. Super generous and say Trump couldn't have done anything. It was going to come to the US anyways. That's a possibility, but let's give him the benefit of the doubt and say that's the case, right? Everything past that point is Trump's fault. The way he responded to it is his fault. If people wore masks, like if there was a high percentage of mask usage, the country would be in a significantly better place than it is right now. Instead, Trump goes out there and discourages people from wearing masks. Why? Why did he do that? This makes no sense. I do not understand. What is the logic here? Why did he want to create this bizarre fucking culture war? Why did he do this? It got people killed. Is that his goal? What? I don't understand. So to respond to this guy, no, Trump does not help the economy recover. He hasn't done the most basic shit to help the economy recover, like encouraging people to wear masks. And I know this one isn't entirely Trump's fault. This is mostly between Nancy Pelosi and Mitch McConnell. But we need more stimulus bills. We need more stimulus. Seriously. This isn't for me. This isn't for any specific person. I'm not trying to get rich off of the stimulus here. The economy needs it to survive. If we don't want to watch the economy buried into the fucking ground even more than it is now, we need a stimulus. Ask any economist. Let's keep listening.
He's wise. And this
Are we talking about the same fucking guy here? He's wise? Are we talking about Donald Trump? Why? How? What has Donald Trump done that could justify you calling him wise? He's a fucking moron. Even his most ardent supporters acknowledge that he's a fucking moron. They just love that about him because I guess he's like them. That's probably why. I can't imagine anybody in all seriousness saying that he's wise. But here we are, seeing it in front of our fucking faces, I guess.
wise. And this helps the poor people.
This helps the poor people. I'm sorry. I keep stopping this, but it's just one fucking absurdity after another. This helps the poor people? What helps the poor people? Let me step back like 10 seconds and just listen to that whole clip in context.
And he helps the economy recover. He's wise. And this helps the poor people.
What helps the poor people? He expressed 3 separate thoughts linked together that don't go together. They don't make sense next to each other. What is he saying? He helps the economy recover. He's wise, and that helps the poor people. What helps the poor people? The fact that he's wise? That was the statement that came directly before he helps the poor people. I don't understand. This is just fucking mind-blowing to me. Let's continue.
So God's will is for President Trump. On the other hand, we see Joe Biden and the Democrats. They remove God from the Pledge of Allegiance.
No, that did not happen. That's completely fabricated. Nobody removed God from the Pledge of Allegiance, much as I would love it if they did, being an atheist. Nobody did that. That did not happen. That was made up. It was debunked a long fucking time ago. Nobody removed that from the Pledge of Allegiance.
That means the people following Joe Biden are cursed.
Okay, let me just diagram the sentence here. Joe Biden removes God from the Pledge of Allegiance, and that means Joe Biden's voters are cursed. Does this guy understand the term non sequitur? Does he know what that means? Is that in his vocabulary? I'm not seeing a connection here at all. And besides that, what is a curse exactly? Is there any way somebody can fucking define that for me? This guy, look at his eyes. There's something fucking disturbing about this guy. Is he empty inside or is he just full of fucking evil? I'm not sure. I can't decide. Is there anything knocking around up there? You have to wonder.
That means the people following Joe Biden are cursed. If you want to be cursed, then go ahead and defend Joe Biden and the devil.
Fear-mongering again. If you want to be cursed, then go ahead and defend Joe Biden and the devil. This is fucking just, I don't even know. I don't even know. I don't know where to go with this. Like, this dude is off his fucking rocker. I feel like every time I watch a clip of somebody like this, my voice goes up an extra octave I didn't know it could reach. This is fucking weird, dude. Seriously. Okay, let's keep reading the article by Hemant Mehta on the Friendly Atheist website. This is a quote from the clip. They remove God from the Pledge of Allegiance, and that means that people following Joe Biden are cursed. If you want to be cursed, then go ahead and defend Joe Biden and the devil. And by the way, was there weird, creepy music in the background of that clip? I don't remember. Let me listen again.
Economy recover.
There was really weird, creepy music in the background. Okay. This is Hemant Mehta speaking. I thought the Biden supporters are cursed thing was the delusional part, but the first part of that clip is so much worse. Imagine how brainwashed you have to be to think Trump is wise and loves anything but himself. To state the obvious, Trump deserves blame for the 272,000 plus COVID deaths so far, so he's far from pro-life. Couldn't agree more on that point. Our economy is tanking, and Democrats didn't remove God from the pledge, nor did atheists for that matter. Unfortunately, I would love to see the day when that's not in the Pledge of Allegiance anymore. In fact, I think the U.S. didn't really start adding "In God We Trust" or God or whatever to all of our fucking stuff, like the pledge and our money and all of this other stuff. We didn't add God to all that stuff until like the 50s or something. It was like when we were at war with communism and godless communists, quote unquote, and they were trying to build religion into patriotism. So they added God to everything. In fact, there's money in circulation. I mean, it's not supposed to be in circulation, but you can find it that doesn't say "In God We Trust" on it. It was not that long ago that this stuff was added, really. 50s, 60s, 70s, so on and so forth, from my understanding. I could be wrong on there. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but that's what I've come to understand. It's not that old, and removing this stuff wouldn't be like this big crazy thing like, oh my God, it's been there for 2 centuries. The founding fathers put it in. They wanted it there. No, they didn't have it on there. The founding fathers were in favor of a secular government, not one riddled with fucking Jesus.